I like the confidence there, egged on by the audience, of course, but a very great win for Team 8. As mentioned in the interview, normally a team that struggles, and admittedly so, struggles in the early game. Not this time around, though.
Yeah, I want to stress just how bad that early game was for Winterfox. So many things went poorly for them. It wasn't just the invade, oh, we gave up first blood. We're like, dang, you really don't want to start the game that way. But Pobelter's not an assassin. First blood goes to Slushy. So that's a huge point of power that Winterfox usually rely on. That's not going to be there this game. Then they also do the shenanigans where they start on the weak side. They're lane swapping. They have their jungler start on the side that's away from support and AD carry. And I can't stress this enough. As a jungler on 5.2, my heart broke for Helios in this. I was just like, he is never going to upgrade his machete, and it is going to be terrible, terrible early game for him, and he's on Lee Sin.
Right.
So right there, you're just like, two huge players for Winterfox are on the bench. They're out of the game for the opening minutes here, and Team A are going to have a really, really strong early game. Then Porpoise pops. He uses his jungle advantage over Helios because he had the easy start and because Maple Street took time out of his busy schedule as an AD carry, not farming the bottom lane instantly and stopping the jungle. Porpoise used that to then pressure mid constantly, and they got kills on Pobelter. It just such a huge snowball from all these things that went wrong for Winterfox really early on.
Yeah, and then also Helios went red, not straight to the enemy blue. So Calitrolls actually had time to walk around, dilly-dally a bit, warded it up before Glebe got a ward in there. So he started with only one buff. Granted, you can get a little bit of experience, but then you talked about the advantages that they had created. They were able to push those. They went and revisited mid, got Pobelter dead again, or dead for the first time, and gave another kill to Slushy, which was really big for them. Because watching this team from Challenger, you think when you see them, you're like, oh, Calitrolls is their point of power all the time. That's not true. Slushy's a really good mid laner. And I remember Skara, when I was talking to him, was actually praising Slushy's play consistently and asking about these champion picks constantly. He's like, how do you do this? Why do you do this? And stuff like that. And really kind of looking up to him a little bit and admiring him. Slushy is a very solid mid laner. He has the potential to carry a game if he is allowed to kind of come into that role from the beginning. So I really praise Team 8 here for not falling back into old habits and being like, all right, Callie, we need to focus on you. They're like, no, abandon that strategy, go with what already started us off in the early game and just go with that, push that snowball down the hill. And although it was a different one for them, they executed it very well. And that was our fastest game of the day, 1 second faster than Cloud9's victory.
Well, remember, as you're talking about Slushy so much, he is their tool against shutting this team down. Winterfox, they built this all around Altec this time. Yeah. They have a Callista. And they're like, you know what? We're going to put out there on this Lulu. We're going to have him on a more supporting champion. Let's try it out. If the key factor of shutting down Altec, Lissandra ulti, is the guy that's getting fed, then everything is going right here for Team 8.
Well, so we have to commend Team 8 on playing their early advantages correctly because, as you mentioned, Zyrene, they put a lot of focus into the mid lane after realizing that that's where their power spike was going to come from. They had the ability to buff Slushy up to the point that he could deal or threaten the Callista enough to make her a non-factor. We do have a replay we're going to pull up of kind of the chaotic mid-fight that came out around like 8, 9, 10 minutes into the game, right? And just we threw this huge gold advantage into the side of Team 8. We're going to get that up on your screen, and Kobe, I'm going to let you run with this one.
Yeah, so this one is actually, an opportunity for Winterfox, but they really overreach, and it looked like there was a bit of miscommunication between the team. So let's start rolling this one. Slushy is going to once again initiate on Pobelter. They're going to try and punish him. Callie's coming in from the flank. As they see the teleport, they immediately back. Notice the people who aren't there, the AD carries. Both AD carries farming side lanes. They actually, Team 8 decides for Graves to keep farming, but Callista's coming up. Right here, Avalon. Seems like he's making the solo call because he really wanted to use his Gnar transformation, but he kind of baits in the entire team. They tunneled on taking down Callie, and the entire team, only 4 people coming down for this one, but because they had such good positioning and flanking, and they're able to punish the overextension, and they come out with this huge trade in a 4 versus 5. Graves got full free farm up top and the turret pressure, so they felt the pressure from being behind so much early that it seemed in this point they really were they're like, we need to come back right now. And they overreached a little bit in that mid lane and just dig the grave a little bit deeper.
Yeah, and I really can kind of guess as to how the calls were going that game and during that part of it, because Cali Trolls, he will go in and Porpoise Pops needs to follow. So you saw his ultimate used to get into that red side brush so that he was there for the fight. When Cali calls for a fight, you have to follow, and if you're not there, it's pretty much your fault. No, seriously.
Well, no, we do. We have to commend Teammate for the fact that they do play the team fights at a pretty high level, right? And that is one of their strengths. They've diagnosed some of their weaknesses. We've seen what they can do when they do have the early lead. As Porpoise said, it's still up to them, though, to continue to build on their early game, because they're not always going to get first blood in the tri-brush to their mid laner, right? And then also get the jungle denial that they did. And so I think that's kind of the big thing for Teammate, is discovering that. On the side, though, of Winterfox, when we mentioned Pobelter is such a huge playmaker, as well as Helios being the shot caller, it seems like they might have to invest more resources into those two individuals when something like this happens.
I think that starting your jungler on the side opposite of your lane swap is just greedy in general.
Yeah, it is. It's extremely greedy. And the lane swap against this composition or this team of Teammate was really kind of strange, because then you flip-flopped your power and you left Pobelter in a matchup where he's already down a kill, which was really, really bad for them. And then they couldn't leverage Pobelter's abilities into that game, and Slushy just kind of took it over with Porpoise Pops.
All right, well, a relatively explosive win there for Teammate. We do have to take a quick break, but don't touch that mouse, because you're not going to want to miss our 5th match of the day. Team Solo Mid versus Team Impulse. Keep it parked right here. The NALCS continues after this.
Up next, guys, Team 8 versus Winterfox. Pushes himself back in. It's the re-engage from Winterfox. Kelly Trolls gets out. Helios trades kills back and forth. It's a nice knockup, though. This could be more picked up. The big Gnar comes across. Is it enough? Porpoise Pot's very low. Pobelter gets one. In comes Cali Trolls with a flash. Finds the 3rd kill of the fight. In they go. Flash and knockup on Avalon and Pobelter. The kick, though, hits 2. Maple Street caught out exhausted, but they force Glebe back. In goes Lysandra. Wow! 2 kills picked up already. Controlled from start to finish. Team 8 end the week 3-3.